Today, Russia's President Vladimir Putin is set to visit North Korea. Yup, North Korea. Two-day visit this week to meet with Kim Jong-un amid international concerns about their military cooperation that already made a massive impact against Ukraine. Meanwhile, a new report shows China expanding its nuclear arsenal 22% in 2023, with no signs of slowing down. The fleet of Russian ships pulled out of Havana Airport yesterday after a 5-day stay, 105 miles off the coast of Florida. And Sweden and Finland reporting that Russian aircraft entered into their airspace twice last week. Here to react is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. We got the Axis powers reconfiguring themselves, cooperating, trying to rattle our cages. Is it working, Senator?
Well, Brian, unfortunately, our adversaries around the world see weakness in the American president, Joe Biden. And that's what happens after 4 years of a president who's scared of his own shadow, who's not confident about American strength and leadership. You get these stream of stories about adversaries around the world cooperating, advancing their interest over our interest. Take North Korea, for instance. Vladimir Putin is visiting there today. That didn't happen under President Trump. You didn't have Russia giving the kind of diplomatic and political pressure that now it's going to, because it's getting all those artillery shells and missiles in return. Or consider China's nuclear buildup. This has been happening for years. Joe Biden has done nothing about it. He's looked the other way. In fact, the first thing he did when he took office was to extend the only nuclear arms control agreement we have in the world with Russia, with no strings attached, and it's one-sided towards Russia as well. President Trump, again, didn't do that because he had insisted that China has to enter into any new or extended agreements. But these are just all examples of what you get with a weak, failed American president who emboldens our adversaries and worries our allies around the world.
I mean, right now we got two new members of NATO. They're strong countries, Finland and Sweden. They already feeling a little bit of the push. We can see a map right now of Russia infringing into the NATO airspace just about everywhere. We also could see this push with North Korea. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's a poor hermit kingdom. What's the big deal? It's a big deal because they have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of cyber capabilities. Number two, and when you go to sanction them and the UN Security Council, you no longer have a country that will go along with us. China and Russia are not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Brian. This is not just about North Korea helping Russia prosecute its war of aggression in Ukraine, but it's a direct threat to us because of what North Korea gets in return. Russia will not cooperate with us in international forums. They will not enforce sanctions. They will not enforce embargoes against a country that has nuclear weapons that can hit not just our troops and citizens in places like Guam or even Hawaii, but the mainland of the United States.
I want you to hear what Jens Stoltenberg, this is good news, said with President Biden yesterday. Watch.
Together, we're deterred further Russian aggression in Europe. I know we welcome Finland and Sweden to the alliance, and we strengthen NATO's eastern flank, making it clear that we'll defend every single inch of NATO territory.
The part when he wasn't nodding, he said that 21 of the 30 countries are now reaching their 2%. Number one, if that, in fact, does weigh out, that is a huge improvement, right, Senator?
Yeah, it's a big improvement from where we were in the Obama-Biden years, in part because President Trump came to office and he got serious and got tough on our friends in Europe. Now, a lot of some countries were already moving in that direction. They tended to be the smaller countries that were more exposed to the threat from Russia. The bigger, wealthier countries still need to get there. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, of course, opened the eyes to a lot of European countries on the need to build their military. But this is a point that President Trump has made for years, is that we support and defend our allies in Europe, but Europe has to care as much, if not more, about their security than the United States cares about it. We have a lot of global obligation, working, for instance, with our friends in places like Israel and Saudi Arabia, or trying to protect our friends in the Western Pacific against Chinese aggression. We need Europe, as President Trump says, to take care of European security.
Senator, I know you and the president have always hit it off. I know he has a lot of respect for you. And you decided not to run for president. You said, my family's too young. It'd be too taxing. Do you feel that would also hold you back from accepting his invitation to join his ticket? Do you feel as though your family's still too young for you to serve in the executive branch?
Well, Brian, they get old fast, that's for sure, but they're still pretty young. But no, running for president in American politics is a unique and taxing challenge. You've got to start building a presidential campaign from scratch. You're on the road 6 or 7 days a week. Nothing else compares to that. Not running for the Senate or serving in the Senate or being the vice president in a campaign or in a cabinet position. I'm very happy serving the people of Arkansas, trying to make a difference for them and for our nation. Of course, any great patriot, if asked by a president to serve our beautiful country, would have to consider it. But right now, what I want to focus on is getting Donald Trump elected to the White House and a Republican majority in Congress who can begin to repair the damage caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats.
And you do your hits before they go to school, so therefore you're being a good parent too. Senator, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.